Okay, hello and welcome back. Stupid technology made it me a while to actually get things to load the way I needed them to. And we are working through our life beginnings and always. We are currently on step 2, adolescence. And we have... Apparently my computer is going to be slow. I have to correct. How many DLCs do we have left? We have 2 DLC left to do, and then we can move on to step 3, which will probably be the same as the other 2 steps, with 5 included moments and 5 DLC moments. So, I don't know yet if we're going to move on to step 3 during this session or next session. Given how long moving on to step 2 took, I'd say next session. But we'll see how we're doing after playing these 2 DLCs. The links for the base game and the step 2 DLC will be in the description on YouTube. They're both available on itch.io and Steam, so whichever is your preferred platform. So here we go. You looked up, noticing the sun was finally setting. You've been trying to delay the end of the day for as long as possible. I mean, SOP for pretty much everybody, every kid, right? Right? Sorry, SOP is standard operating procedure. The evening breeze tickled your nose as you sat on your front porch, munching on fresh watermelon slices. Oh, I love it. So, randomly, going back, that road trip DLC where we visited the Redwood National Forest, I mentioned that to my mom, that they managed to make the drive in one day, and my mom was like, they were probably in Central California. So, I don't think there's a specific location given for where this is set, but if people want an idea, there you go, Central California. There's no way you could make the trip from Southern California in a day. Not even trading up with other drivers. It's not possible. Anywho. I love watermelon. Jules loves watermelon. I like melon, period. I like watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe, but oh, honeydew. Most of my family don't like honeydew. And it's like, it's fruit. I do not like it, but that's neither here nor there. It's not going to make you happy. You picked up another slice. Even though you already had dinner, you were still glad to make room for watermelon. There's always room for watermelon. Still in the cracked center. Turn to look at Cove. You've both been sitting in comfortable silence for a while now. He sat next to you, close enough for your shoulders to touch. He was happily absorbed in his thoughts and his own slice of watermelon. Now this makes you want watermelon. But it's not the season for watermelon right now. It's February. Chuckling and washed as his face twisted into cover. He had to stop chewing to spit a seed into the bush. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. You did the same and spat his seed into the bushes. Susie had made a little habit of periodically doing that while you had been snacking. This time he decided to make it a topic of conversation. I hate how it feels to swallow them, those hard black seeds. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. You both went back to eating in comfortable silence, still occasionally spitting unwanted seeds into the bushes. I remember when I was little, I used to think that if you swallowed a watermelon seed, it would mean a watermelon would grow in your stomach. I know now that that's not possible. But when you're a kid, you think you have all kinds of weird ideas. I wonder if I'll have another slice after this one. That one is your third already. Is that bad? It tastes really good. Yeah, but you don't want to make yourself sick with too much. But, I mean, he's a growing kid and so are you. But honestly, I would have had to stop after the first slice. I can't eat more than one slice at a time. We're going to skip this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I remembered to grab my dice before I actually needed to roll one. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we're going to skip that one too. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Sighed affectionately. If another slice is going to make you happy, it will. Go ahead, I'm not going to stop you. Cove picked up another slice. He's not that you delighted. A little while later, Cove flinched, making a confused sound. He only put his current slice down on the plate next to him. Are you okay? Yeah. He stood up, head tilted back to look at the sky. Feet took him to the middle of the street. Did you notice anything? What do you mean? I thought I felt the rain drain. The sun's still out? You put down your watermelon slice and hopped off your front step. Immediately you felt a tap of water on the crown of your head, making you yelp. You're right. Cove was still staring up at the sky, and you watched as he began blinking more rapidly. And finally turning your direction, his face was bemused. It's a sun shower. Yeah. Someone was asked once what my favorite type of weather was. And that's what I said, when it's a sun shower. I've had those before. It's really good. It's bright and sunny, and then all of a sudden it's rain. It seemed crazy, but soon you couldn't avoid the drops that began increasing into a light shower. All it means is that the sky isn't completely clouded over, but the clouds, it's cool enough that the clouds are dropping the water on you. Booming with laughter, Cove kicked off his shoes towards his front door and reveled in the moment. Where did go with excited? You closed your eyes and threw your head back, letting the rain shower over you. Cool drops felt so right after the warmth of the day. Feeling energized, ran over to Cove and laughed at how soaked he already was. Not that he cared, because he was busy spinning in the middle of the street. Following his lead, you spun yourself until you were dizzy. Just as suddenly as the sprinkling started, it stopped and left you dripping with the soap, wet asphalt, and soil tickling your nose. Cove caught your eyes, running a hand through his wet hair, combing it back. He frowned. Over. The drops of rain clinging to his face almost could have been mistaken for tears. He sounded that disappointed. Baby. I don't know why I said that. I wish it would lasted longer. Even just a few more minutes. And then a few more on top of that. Looked at you with such enthusiasm that you couldn't help but chuckle. You then looked over at your door and sighed. You knew Mom wasn't going to be happy to see you trailing water into the house. Cove rubbed his arm awkwardly. He must have been thinking the same thing because he watched you sympathetically.
It's okay.
You can dry off at my house if you want. My parents won't mind. You're the sweetest guy I know. Thanks. It's not a big deal. It is. I could already hear my mom's cries over my wet footsteps being all over the halls. Yeah, it would be best to put a dampener on the day. He chuckled at his little pun. He led you inside and you stayed close to him. You have a ton of spare towels. I just gotta dig them out of the hall closet. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
No problem. It'll only be a second. Just hang out in the room. But don't sit on the couch. Yeah. You want to talk about the flight now. Okay. The back club disappeared and returned in no time. Towels in hand. Here. Thanks. You accepted one and began to pat yourself down. Then call caught both of your attention. I thought I heard voices. Those moms strolled into the living room with a curious grin.
Huh?
What happened here? You're both wet. No shit. There was a sun shower. Badass. Joe smiled back at his parents. We came inside to dry off. My mom don't want me going on to my house when I'm wet.
Right.
So I told Jules to come back here. That was very sweet of you, baby. She still calls it that. I love it. She ruffled Cole's wet hair and laughed at the drops of water that shook off. Then a light came to Kyra's eyes.
What do you think?
I have an idea. Why don't we go for a drive? You have to be standing around the house and you'll air dry in no time. Joe only offered a shrug and bent a bent smile to his mom. He looked at you for a real answer. Oh boy. It's Vicky. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Four. Yeah, let's do it. This will be good. Kyra pulled out her cell phone from her pocket to call your mom. They had swapped numbers early in the summer. So she has a cell phone, but you do not. Okay. That just gives us a time frame, more of a time frame as to when this takes place.
See you soon.
Head on out to the garage. I'll meet you there in just a minute.
Sorry.
Sorry, my mom can be so pushy. She gets an idea in her head, and that's what she does. It's okay. Thanks for letting me time. I didn't do anything. That wasn't true at all, but you let him get away with that. Come on. I led you to the car, and Kyra wasn't too far behind.
Okay.
Into the backseat, too. Once the three of you were situated inside, Kyra started and drove out of the residential area. When she hit a main road, the car sped up and she rolled the back windows down all the way.
Hey!
Joe started laughing as he kept trying in vain to keep his hair from flying into his eyes too much. Meanwhile, you closed your eyes as the wind whipped against your wet clothes. I'm with Cove. I don't like it when my hair gets... I'm not generally fastidious about my clothes, but I don't like having my hair in my face. I prefer to have it back. So I'm letting my hair grow out. So I usually have it put back with a ponytail, but it started long enough now that I can have it braided, and I actually braided it today because I took a shower, and it's easier to braid it when it's wet. I said the story was going to be good for getting air dried. Yeah, but I didn't agree to this much air. Joe tried pressing the window button, but nothing happened. His eyebrows furrowed in frustration.
No way!
You disabled the back? Sorry, can't hear you. Smelling deviously, Kyra turned on the radio and turned it up to be heard over the wind. We're gonna skip this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dance in your seat to the music. You recognized the song immediately, mouth along to the words and moving about to the beat. It felt refreshing. Joe shook his head at you until it cracked to half a smile. Slowly he relaxed and popped a little to the beat of the song himself. Yes! Then something struck the side of your leg. Several papers were freed from under the car seats and were blown about. Oh, they kicked out the windows. Joe began to have passively reach around the space to try and get it all back under wraps. We'll help. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. And you help. Mom, close the windows. Kyra offered no response other than a chuckle. She just kept driving. Those had several papers out of the air and got others, preventing most of them from flying out the window on your side. Good cover your collection was reading widely. This is got pretty much all of them. Figured if they were sitting out in the back of the car, that couldn't be important enough to get upset over. The Cove continued looking annoyed. His smile started to slip, and at that, his expression softened. I hope so. Thanks for helping. The sun set completely, and at that, Cairo rolled up the windows. Cove let out a big sigh and released the random bits of paper he had in his fist. My mom is crazy. He ran a hand through his windblown hair and laughed with a bit of exasperation. The evening really turned out to be more interesting than you expected, considering you were having with your odds with whatever else happened next. He watched you with interest until his focus was taken by a new comment from his mom. I bet you're not feeling damp anymore? No, but now I feel tripped. There's a video going on my PC. Luckily you can't hear it, but it can be a bit distracting at times. Okay, so D6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. You shook your head and looked out the window. Kara continued driving. The radio volume was adjusted to the closed window, so everyone was sitting more comfortably. Kara lowered the sound even more after pulling into a red light. She took the chance to turn around. You kind of very smart.
So?
Does anyone know what we drove past during the dry cycle? I'm not sure I want to. A movie theater. Okay, most places have one somewhere. It isn't that late, you know. We could probably still catch a show.
What?
Really, Mom? You don't even know what he's playing.
Come on.
That's what makes it fun. 1, 2, 4, 5. There it is. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 0. 2. I'm not sure about that. Is it really a good idea? Aw, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating impulsive behavior every day, but it's important to seize the moment when you can. You might never have another night like this. And don't worry, Jules. I said I'd watch over you for the night, not just 10 minutes or so. I'll put your parents in the loop about hitting the movies as soon as we get there.
That's...
I didn't bring any shoes. I'm not wearing any either. Lifted your foot up and wiggled your toes so Cove could see. We're going to go inside barefoot. You can't.
It's all right.
We'll sleep real quick. No one will notice. You can do it. Just this once. You shared a look with Cove. It was comforting that at least you were on this wild ride together. Definitely. Not expected in the least. But not necessarily a bad thing. Sarah drove into the theater parking lot and shut the engine off. With the unbuckling of her seatbelt, she ushered you and Cove out. Despite being hesitant to leave, once outside, Cove burst into a sprint towards the cinema. You were right along with him. The tarmac was still wet from before and cold to stand on his bare feet. Inside, you noticed there were no lines. All the current shows had already started. Sarah prayed that no line and strode up towards the counter with some words of encouragement. A third of the running time is that these days. We haven't missed anything. This is true. Meanwhile, Cove stood next to you awkwardly. He shifted from one foot to the other and constantly kept looking around. His shady behavior would have made him much more likely to get caught than I still would have if there were people around to really notice. It was pretty goofy. We'll control him. He put Cove's arm to get his attention. You'll be okay, Cove. His expression softened into an appeased smile. Yeah, thanks. Lifting a sigh of relief out of you, Kyra returned with the tickets in hand. She quickly herded you and Cove towards the showing room. I am so sorry for the little hiccup, but hold on. We've almost made it home free. Once we get down, it will be smooth sailing. The lights were already off in the showing room, but the movie hadn't started yet. The upcoming movie trailers were still playing. There we go.
Aha!
Yes! Keep your volume in a hushed tone, Kyra couldn't help but burst with excitement over your looks. Followed her down the walkway until she saw an open seat in the middle-ish area of the theater. That's generally the best spot. Then you're not so close to the screen that you have to crane your neck to see everything, but you're not so far back that it makes it hard to really, that you have a sea of heads in front of you. Myra pointed at the seats, looking over her shoulder at you and Cove, waiting for input. Cove nodded, and you decided to give her a thumbs up, and she led the way. The one-pound movie theater floors tend to be sticky. When you reached your seats, Kara sighed contentedly. Cove gave a sigh of his own and lifted his feet to sit cross-legged instead of keeping them down on the floor. Then leaned over and whispered to you.
So...
Do you have any idea what the movie is? No, I didn't hear the name or anything when your mom bought the ticket. Oh boy. Your couple now previews the main event again. It dawned on you quickly that it was a horror film, one about a group of students being haunted by dangerous ghosts. This is a good question. Personally, I would not want to watch it. I'm not a huge fan of horror movies. I consider myself on my own. Thank you very much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. 3. You thought this was going to be annoying. You bumped into your seat, Franny. These kinds of moves are never good, and you were stuck there. That's over because you noticed that he looked less than thrilled with the movie. He bit down on his bottom lip and stared at the screen with trembling eyes. Cove had never been a fan of ghosts or intentionally frightening things. That was something you learned about him early on. I think one of these middle three. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. You bent yourself more and more until you were essentially leaning against it. It's been so enough that Cove hadn't noticed at first. But soon he started to peek at you out of the corner of his eyes. And from my hand. He took it immediately. His fingers held firmly to yours, and he was able to face the screen again with a wider expression. Sometimes the other people in the theater screamed or jeered or clapped depending on what was happening. Your heart was pounding in your chest when the movie finally came to an end. The main character resolved the hauntings, but in a dark conclusion, they didn't make it out alive. That's part of the reason I don't like horror. I'm not a huge fan of jump scares. You stayed to let the credits roll and for the theater to clear out. Then it was time to head back to the car. But you and Cove took the same seats in the back seat, back of the car again. In a little bit, Kyra was exuding an empty, cheerful energy. What a great flick!
I guess.
It wasn't so bad in the end. You enjoyed it, baby? No, I mean, it's hard to explain. I get really tense, and I guess that's the point of horror stuff, but I kind of don't want to have to feel like that. Now that it's all over, though, it was sort of cool to do.
Fantastic.
That's so great. Jules, how are you feeling? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 0. Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah. 6. It was awesome. I don't think I want to do that one. Where are these two of them? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. It was alright. I'll take that. Still can't believe they died. It was nice when things aren't all obvious and you don't really know how to end until you see it. I wanted it to go better. I demand a happier ending. Yes! Yes! You and Cove spent the rest of the car ride absorbed in conversation about the movie. So, who's hungry? You were surprised when you realized Kyra didn't drive you home, but to a drive-thru burger restaurant instead. Yeah! That's the spirit. Get whatever you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chicken a sandwich. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we're gonna skip the chicken nuggets because to me that's not a side. That's the main. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? French fries. Yeah, I love French fries. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Milkshake. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, come here. 2. Cookies. I love cookies. And that's it. Is that alright?
Of course.
It's A-okay. Hope was tickled by the size of your list and had no disapproval over it. Kara pulled up to the window and ordered what you asked for first. She then decided to order one of everything on the value menu. Whoa, what are you going to do with all that? Eat it.
Really?
The whole menu? Even after Jules picked most of that already? That's right, there are only maybe 10 things on it, and they're about $1 each. I can swing it, and besides, whatever we don't finish, I'm going to feed your dad. He'll be in heaven. Cove sighed affectionately at his brother's antics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you're quite welcome. A few minutes later, Kyra exchanged her money for multiple bags of food, which she quickly tossed to you both in the back seat. She then drove off into the night. Yeah, I usually end up doing the food runs these days, and I usually take my brother with me so that he can help me carry. We have everything because there's a lot of us in the family, so we've had some bad experiences with not getting with them not getting our orders correct. So we got into the habit of checking them before we leave the drive-thru. You pass me something? What should I grab? Surprise me. She was one of the wrap sandwiches and handed it to her. You had no idea if it was a burger or something else.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Sensing that this was what was happening, Cove shrugged and started pulling food out of the bag for himself. Cove ended up with some onion rings, and he happily munched on them. Got something I like. We weren't even questioning Kyra's crazy ride anymore. The adventure continued, and you were so preoccupied in the back that you almost didn't realize the car had stopped. Kyra turned to look over her shoulder. Okay, party people, it seems we've reached the end of the road. Confused, you checked out the window and saw nothing except empty road ahead. And then you noticed it. The now leaving sign. Kyra took you through the entire town. What are we doing here? Kyra turned the car around and parked it along the side of the road. I think you both could use a break to stretch your legs. I doubt anyone is going to come through here this time of night. Besides, I need to make a call, so go on. So shook his head and got out of the car without a fight. We're going to follow Cove. He got out and caught up to Cove. He was busy looking at the stars and stretching his arms while he strolled around. One of these two. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Being there was pretty cool in your mind. This was a good place to stop. If she was going to take us all around town, at least it wasn't done halfway. Cove smiled, glanced from the stars to you. Shortly after, you noticed Cove's expression changed. His eyebrows furrowed, and it seemed like he was thinking hard about what he wanted to say next.
I'm so sorry.
Jules, I am really sorry for my mom being crazy tonight. She isn't always like this. Seriously. Why is she being like this now? I think she feels like she has to get out there and do things with me while she can, and she wants to make the time memorable. This has been really different than the others, and it didn't start off good. Think about how Kyra's trip began this summer. You can understand why Cove was thinking along those lines. He probably wanted all the trouble to be worth it in the end. Having a good time with your mom around? Yeah, it's so weird having her and Dad in the same house, but I love her. She's my mom. I like hanging out with her, most of the time. It went silent between you both, so you jumped when you heard the sound of a car door closing. Oh, Jules! You turned to see Kyra by the driver's side, waving. The sight brought a smile to Cove's face, and she quickly made her way over to where you both were standing. Thanks for waiting. I didn't mind.
My baby.
How did I end up with such a polite boy? He ruffled his hair and Cove lowered his head, accepting the compliment. He thought about how interesting it was to see how Cove interacted with his mom. And then the memory hit you. That first summer, Cove ran away to this very spot, trying to find his way back to his mom. And now here they were, together. Whispered to Cove. As you stepped closer to Cove, you leaned close to share the moment, just with him. Isn't it strange that your mom took us here? This is where you went to try seeing her when you moved to Sunset Bird. Cove flinched his eyes started over to his mom, worried that she heard. When he was satisfied she didn't, he turned back. Yeah, it's weird, but she doesn't know what happened. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Really? Dad likes to tell her things are fine, so she doesn't worry. And we'll keep it a secret. Cove looked at you gratefully, and you shared a conspiratorial smile. Anyways, it's kind of cool to be here, right on the edge of town. Exactly, we're setting on a precipice. I think so too. I knew you'd get it. It's good to appreciate these times and places. Carol let out a big breath of air. We should probably call it a night, huh? Let's go. I can't wait to collapse in bed. Kara shyly smiled and gestured to the car. Quietly, you all made your way back to it. Cove naturally followed you, taking a seat nearby in the back, with a collection of fast food bags still strewn about. You rested your head into the seat as the car roared to life. As you did, Cove leaned you close to whisper.
Hey.
I could talk to your mom if they do get mad about tonight for some reason. It was my mom's idea. You didn't have a choice. This was worth it even if they do get mad. Your mouth pulled into the biggest grin, getting a laugh out of Cove. If you say so. Cove smiled bashfully at you, but said nothing else. The drive home was smooth and uneventful. The radio was off completely, and you felt your eyelids getting heavy. You were too tired to keep your head up, but it felt quite comfortable there. Cove didn't have any issues there. He leaned into it. You must have been exhausted, too. You were happy to stay close like that. It was warm and comfortable. Yeah, I've done that, and I woke up and my neck was sore. When you opened your eyes, you expected to still be in the car, not your bedroom. It was somehow already morning. You couldn't remember how you ended up there. Sitting up in bed, you thought about how last night was quite an experience. It almost felt like a dream more than a real event, but it definitely happened. You were glad that you got to have a spontaneous escapade this summer. Dun dun dun! Dave? Okay. Last one, here we go. Soiree. It's a French word, I forget what it means. Okay, evening. That's all it means. Yeah, so if people are curious, that's what soiree means. Evening. But, it doesn't just mean evening, it means like a special event. You'd while away the morning doing whatever struck your fancy, and now you're recharging your lunch. Well, it's much on the horizon, you're free to spend as much or as little time on your plate as you wanted. It was while you were thinking on all the possibilities for your afternoon that your mom approached.
Hi.
Hi, Jules. You okay? Mouthful united and replied. She was surprised they both sat with you at the table. Based on the time, you had wondered if they were joining you for a meal, but neither of them brought anything. Soiree. Okay, in the 18th century in France and England, it became fashionable for wealthy, below-married ladies who had a residence in town to invite accomplished guests to visit their home in the evening to partake of refreshments and cultural conversation. Soirees often included refined musical entertainment, and the term is still sometimes used to define a certain sophisticated type of evening party. Society hostesses included actresses or other women with a larger-than-life reputation. The character of the hostess obviously determined the character of the soiree and the choice of guests. So that's probably what's going on here. In case people were curious. Anywho, great. I wanted to have a little chat with you. I'll fire a lid on it. There's nothing to downplay the situation. Chewing floaters, your eyes wide and looking from one parent to the other. Anything that requires both of them to talk to you must be something big. Let's go with the first one. You didn't like being the only one not knowing what was going on. On the turn, you waited for them to fill you in.
There.
I don't look so worried. It's nothing scary. Promise. There's a soiree at the Cypress tomorrow night. Your mom and I are going. Cypress was a country club your moms were part of, and where Elizabeth played golf. Seemed like every other month they had some event or other, all with fancy names like soiree. Okay, so it's definitely that latter definition. Between your lips, you wondered what this had to do with you. Mom chuckled at your poorly concealed reaction. Leaning in, Ma took your hand and squeezed it. You decided to make the night a bit special. Elizabeth's going to be allowed to stay home fully alone for the first time.
Sorry.
You'll still be coming to the party with us. Elizabeth's next party with no family around, not yours. Sorry, you've got to wait a couple more years. This was an issue that came up with my family. Not necessarily this exact issue, but something similar. Because I have, before my sibling realized they were my sibling and not my sister, they wanted to do things that my twin and I were allowed to do, but they're 2 years younger. So they had to wait 2 years, and they had trouble. They didn't like the fact that they had to wait. But I imagine my parents expected that they would feel that way. They were very firm about not letting my siblings do stuff if they weren't old enough to do. Okay, let's see how bratty we're gonna be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I could be reasonable, but that's so fun. 2. Disappointed by the news. Crossing your arms over your chest, you lean back in your seat. So much for the big talk. This is all about Elizabeth. Don't worry, we're not done yet. There's something in this for you. You were not yet convinced, but you gave your mom the benefit of the doubt and listened. The parents turned to look across the table. You cleared your throat, reminding them that you were waiting. You didn't keep dropping such hints and then turn coy when the conversation was about to get good.
Well?
Since it's a pretty fancy party, there's still chaperones, and attendees are allowed to bring a guest, you thought it might be a nice opportunity for you to invite someone yourself. As a date, if you want. Your eyes widened as the word sunk in. The months continued, and it was a struggle to keep up. Even though we'll be at the party too, you don't need to worry about us getting in your way. You'll be free to eat, dance, and enjoy the music as you see fit. But no leaving the property. Dang it! Mom nodded at Mom's interjection.
Isn't that great?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the party, and if you'd rather bring just a friend, that's A-okay too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. You didn't even know how to react. The parents were smiling at you, clearly expecting a response, but you were still too shocked to formulate anything of the kind. Can't imagine this is where the talk was going.
Don't worry about it.
The soiree is until tomorrow, so you've got time. Just let us know your plans before we're heading out. And that's all. We'll leave you to your lunch now. Your moms rose from their chairs in unison, disappearing to another part of the house. You barely noticed their departure. All you could think of was what just happened. The remnants of your lunch stared up at you from your plate. Not the middle one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. The conversation taking your mind off the meal, but you have to try to eat a little more. Just wait for a little while longer. Even though you'd relocated to your bedroom, your head was stuck on the conversation that had unfolded at the dining table downstairs. You knew that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. Maybe having kind of a friend would be best. You felt most comfortable with that. It'd make the party a lot more fun than going alone, and you didn't want to go along with the suggestion of that being your first date. Yeah, I'd rather have a little more say about what my first date is going to be. But taking a friend required a further decision. Who to invite? He wasn't an option. She couldn't come by just whatever. Your aunt and uncle had a rule that they needed more than 1 day's notice since she was going to visit you. Too bad, because this sounded like the sort of event she'd love. But not so much that she wouldn't tease you for passing up the opportunity to have an actual date. Cove was always easily accessible for hanging out, and you were certain that with him you'd have a great time. And maybe Derek could make it. Things were never dull when he was around. Well, he didn't live in the area, so it was close enough to get a lift over at short notice. Let's call Derek. Let's actually get him a bit more involved. You were relieved to find the phone sitting on his cradle in the living room. You got the address book, your mom stepped close to the phone, clicked through until you found Derek's number, and it was Suarez. Tapped the number into the phone and waited for someone to pick up. Hello, Suarez residence. Let's go with this one. This is Jules. Can I talk to Derek? Oh, I'm sorry, he's out with his brothers right now. I can get him to call you back. You paused. You could wait for Derek to return the call, but you didn't know when he'd be there. Besides, if anyone other than Derek knew his schedule, it would be his mom. Well, I was just wondering if he was free tomorrow night. I don't think so. I'm afraid we have some plans here at home. That's okay. I'll see him around. Say goodbye. Hang up the phone. Hang up and return to your room. That part barely crossed off the list. Dang it. Sighing, you shifted position on the bed, resting your arms on the windowsill. A flock of birds caught your eye, and you led your gaze up across the sky. Flashed birds grew smaller and less distinct until they disappeared from sight. Like the snap of a head into fingers, you were released from the trance and left with a goal of your own. You were going to take a walk. You ambled through the familiar streets of your neighborhood, picking your path at whim. It was as quiet as ever, with tourists choosing to congregate in the shopping area near the beach rather than venture into the sleepy residential zone. You continued down the road and soon found yourself at the shore. The fresh, salty air hit you first, rolling to meet you over the grassy dunes that tickled your legs, followed by the familiar view of the sea stretching out across the horizon. You came to a halt. A lone figure was standing in the ocean, the water reached up to his knees. Though he had his back to you, you recognized the familiar silhouette as Cove's. It made sense that he found him here. He always was in his element by the sea. You had no idea if he heard your arrival or if it was a coincidence. He looked over his shoulder. Your eyes met. We're going to head closer. The Cove was sure to return to the shore after seeing you. It wasn't fair to make him do all the work. Cove grinned at you from over his shoulder before turning around to wade back to the shore. Jules, what are you up to? My moms are taking me to a soiree tomorrow at the country club. A soiree? Sounds exciting? Joe tried to show a level of enthusiasm, keeping his pen pinned in place. You could tell that he had no envy towards your plan. Will you come with me? Oh, you can bring someone? My mom said it was okay for someone to come along. Lasham processed the offer, his eyes becoming far away for just a moment before it broke into a smile.
Sure.
I'll come. Thanks. Thanks for inviting me. Clap your hands together, ready to share the resolution with your parents. Can you come to my house right now so we can let my mom know the plan? No problem. He went to where he discarded his things in the sand, taking his shirt over his head and slipping on a pair of shoes before joining you and setting that coat. The two of you stepped inside the front door of your house. It was a proximity you'd had growing up. It was an action you'd taken together countless times, and you thought yourself lucky to have such a great friend living close by. At the sound of the door opening, your mom poked her head into the hall.
Hello.
Hello! Ah, Cove, it's you. What a surprise! She chuckled at her own joke. Cove was always there, and she knew how close the two of you were. Bringing anyone other than him back would have been an actual surprise. Hi, Mrs. Hunt. It's nice to see you. I take it Cove's going to be our guest for tomorrow night? Yep.
So?
And is it a date? Her voice was light, teasing, and it was painful. No, we're just going to hang out at the party together. Okay, Cove. I'll give your folks a call and get everything squared away. She went off to finish the phone. You shook your head, betrayed. How could you say something like that with no warning? Cove gave you a crooked smile, a weak imitation of his usual one. You weren't the only one caught off guard by her comment. And the rest of the afternoon passed by just like that. Back in your room, your mind was abuzz with visions of tomorrow night. The soiree was an exciting prospect now that you'd get to experience it with Cove. You just hoped that he'd have a good time when all was said and done. The evening of the soiree had arrived. The daylight hours had slipped away in a blur. Up in your bedroom, you were getting ready for the big event. That was your intention, at least. You hadn't settled on an outfit. Positioned in front of your wardrobe, you scanned the clothing you had at your disposal. So Martha mentioned this evening was a bit dressier than a normal get-together. You didn't necessarily have to. It's supposed to be dressy. Let's go with that. Something similar. You took it inside between the nicer pieces in your wardrobe. Ones that really had a chance to come out. You decided to dress formally because you don't feel like dressing up. Personally, I don't, but this isn't me, so we're going against type. There's something magical about the sheen of an elegant fabric and the cut of formal wear, something that transformed everyone into a more sophisticated version of their normal self. So you decide to wear a button-down shirt. These shirts were a classical formal look for a reason. They were essentially woven. You paired your top with dress pants. You picked a pair that complemented the color of your top and nodded with satisfaction. It was a slick look. You began to get dressed, your fingers working stiff zips and awkward fastenings. You felt different against your skin, reminding you of every moment that you were dressed up. Whatever happened tonight, you were pleased that you got the opportunity to wear those. Now dressed, you gave yourself a final glance over before heading downstairs, ready to head out. You found your mom's already waiting in the living room. They were putting the finishing touches on the outfit. Mom strapping her heel into a stiletto shoe and Mom trying to fasten a bracelet single-handed. Biffy, I like those. It's really nice.
Oh,
You look so nice, don't you think so? Don't you think, Sam?
thanks.
Thanks for dressing up, Jules. I hope the party will be prepared for your arrival. You look sharp. Mom was still struggling with the bracelet. You lent a hand, literally, by taking one side and holding it as she secured the clasp. Bracelets are a pain to do one-handed. Thanks, kiddo. Mom then glanced over at the clock on the wall, seeing where the hands were pointing a frown creased her face. Let's go. When's Cove going to be here? Do you know? This is that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. I'll go get him.
Oh?
Oh, yeah? Raised her eyebrows, fragile and replacing the earlier frown. That's very polite of you. Get going. We want to leave in 10 minutes. Okay. Cove's house was mere seconds away from yours, making the warning unnecessary, but you dutifully went out. As you crossed the street, you found yourself at Cove's very familiar front door. You rang the bell. This time was lodged in your head from all the times you'd rung it over the years. So unlike usual, Cosmo Kyra was the one who answered it this night.
Come on.
Hey, Jules, come on in. She beckoned you inside. I said she was so excited to see you that words alone weren't enough. Thanks for coming. The boys will be right down. They're just in Cove's room. I can call them if you want. That'd be great. Thanks. Sure thing. She stepped over to the opening of the hallway at the other side of the living room and hollered down. Oh, Cliff, Jules is here. Cliff's voice came back without its owner. Just a minute, thanks. Hello, Jules. He chuckled. It was longer than I meant, but Kyra usually filled the time by chatting with you about your plans for the night ahead. A short while later, Mr. Holden strolled into the room, giving you a wave. Cliff pulled his face into a smile. As he reciprocated, the tension in his face faded away. Bippy! Hi, Jules. Hi. Cliff seemed to take your appearance in with a glance. He smiled. He opened his mouth to speak more, then paused. Cove checked the time and he said clock hanging on the sidewall and addressed his parents. We've got to go. He abruptly headed towards the door, his parents waving you off. Bring him back in one piece. Have a blast, you two. Bye. He ducked out, following Cove into the street. Once out in the fresh evening air, Cove breathed deeply before smiling at you. I've never been to something like this. I don't know what to expect, but I want to find out. You're glad that he's in a good mood. A little intrigue about the night ahead was a good sign. Don't expect a red carpet. It's not that big of a deal. You returned home, Cove in tow. Your mom welcomed you back before whisking you right out once more to get in the car. You pulled up at the country club. The sun had sunk deep into the horizon, the last of its light sleepily warming the oncoming night. Your mom said the way to the space around the back where the event was being held. The place had been transformed to decoration, with smart tablecloths and elegant ribbons contributing to a festive atmosphere. Musicians dressed in matching black and white were setting up their instruments and flicking through pages of sheet music. And as promised, there was a table covered in plates of carefully prepared food. Destination reached, your parents rounded on you and Cove. Things haven't kicked off yet, but don't let that stop you from enjoying yourselves.
Have fun.
We'll be around if you need us.
See you later.
Bye. Cove waved your moms off. Once they'd retreated a distance away, you found him watching you expectantly. What now? His voice was light, but from his wide eyes and their nervous glances, you could tell that he was feeling out of his depth. We'll have to wait for some things to start, like the band, but there's stuff going on already. Cove perked up at that.
Really?
Oh, do you want any of those, whatever they are? Let's introduce him. I know most of these people because I've been brought here a lot over the years. You can meet them. Sure. Doesn't matter if you make a good impression or not. They'll be curious about you no matter what. You beckoned for him to follow you and meet the other guests. Most of the attendees skewed significantly older or considerably younger than the two of you, with only a few people around your age. Naturally, Cove greeted them with this easy warmth. Not that there weren't any difficulties. Sorry, could you repeat your name? It's Cove. Cove? They rolled the word over their tongues, clearly surprised. How unusual, but lovely, of course. As you'd expected, there was interest in who you'd brought to the party and what your relationship with him was. Jules, good to see you. Is your day? Your matching stunned reactions answered the question. The group roared with laughter. I'll take that as a no. I love it. I love that they still assume you're on a date when you're just friends. I'll take that. Okay. So some people focus on important things. You were dressed. Don't you look snappy in that outfit? You scrubbed up well. With the basic niceties taken care of, you moved on to something else. Check the snacks. They're teenagers. We're always hungry. When you're not teenagers, you're always hungry. We can go eat some food now, even if the music hasn't started yet.
Oh?
That's okay. It's not too soon. I don't like this part because of the free food. I knew you'd come just for the free food. Yep, I wonder what they'll have this time. No one will mind, really. He simply nodded. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Personally, I'd come for the free food. 4. Yep, I wonder what they'll have this time. Let's go find out. The two of you wandered over to the refreshment table, but the being early in the night, it had barely been touched. The plates were nearly as pristine as when they left the kitchen. The offerings were all tiny and bite-sized, ready to be picked up and sampled. It was immediately apparent that there was plenty to choose from. Just from the level of care with which it was presented, it was clear that this was fancy stuff. So stared at one plate, then another, confused. I think I know some of this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And only some of it is any good. It's on the table like a detective at a crime scene. That one is so sour your tongue will shrivel up. That looks like chocolate, and it is. Mostly. What else is it? Nasty. Those eyes were wide as you guided him through what was on offer. It made you feel sophisticated. Those squared his shoulders as if geared up for a match. Dance was familiar from all the times he'd seen him preparing for some sporting event. I'm gonna try it. He picked up a plate and took one appetizer, then another, and another. Soon he realized he was taking one of every single type. You're taking everything? Why not? We're only going to pick out certain options. As much as you like food on offer, you know your own limits and preferences. Cove nibbled his way through everything the Cypress had. The result of this endeavor to order mixed. He was revolted by some of the things he tried, openly screwing up his face and rushing to find a drink to wash the taste away. Yet these bad experiences didn't stop him from going on, moving on to the next snack with an open mind. There were some foods he was neutral about, missing them with a shrug, but the best of all were his reactions when he stumbled across something good. Each time caught him by surprise, his expression morphing from wary curiosity, skeptical interest before making way for the astonished enjoyment. Regardless of how it felt about what he's currently eating, you could tell he was having a good time just being free to eat whatever he laid his eyes on. You're still satisfied with the limited selection you had. You're going through a round of sampling, and moved on to something else. Take a seat to relax. You should pick out a table. Okay. You found a place to sit at the edge of the party area, where it's quieter with fewer people bustling around. He pulled out a chair and sat down. Cove, already seated, was stretching. These clothes are kind of uncomfortable. Flexing an arm at the elbow, frowning, before twisting it back behind him. Yeah? My arms can't move the same as normal. I'm going to rip it if I do anything. I think it suits you. Really? Okay. Thanks. He toyed with one cuff of his shirt, wedging a finger between the fabric and his skin. Now that you have a spot of your own, we'll continue chatting with Cove. No time at all. The sun set in full. The lights faded in, and opening up the bands for a song rang out. You and Cove stopped what you were doing, turning to contemplate the party that had been steadily unfurling while you were distracted. It was much busier now, both in terms of people and activity. The first steps were taken onto the dance floor, some tentative, others eager, and even if the band hadn't been playing, constant level of chatter would have ensured that it wasn't a quiet night. With the party now in full swing, your options had increased. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. Ask Cove to dance. Would you like to dance, maybe? Cove raised his eyebrows in surprise at your shy invitation. Even though it was a dance party, he hadn't anticipated this outcome. I don't think I can. He looked out onto the dance floor, discomfort radiating out of him. Your heart sank. God, Cove is a good friend. He thought he would feel okay if it was with you.
I don't know.
How to dance. It's crowded out there. On his gaze, he saw that the dance floor was so tightly packed with swaying and sexually couples. Rubbed his arm, shoulders hunched inwardly. Sorry. You wouldn't be able to change his mind. There was nothing you could do but accept it. Tried to lighten the mood. The situation was what it was, and making Cove feel worse about it will only bring you both down. There goes my secret plan to stomp on your toes. Cove smiled weakly. Just so. Just had to do something else. Look for someone else to dance with. You dance, but you don't have to. Cove blinked, caught by surprise, but he nodded. Okay, I hope it's fun. I don't want to, so you can just meet me when you're done. I'll probably go to the snack table. Cool. See you soon. You toed the edge of the dance floor looking for someone who might be interested in joining you. So they tap on your shoulder, glance behind to find the boy with dark brown eyes standing there. At a guess, you estimated he was around your age, maybe a little older. Are you planning on dancing? Yeah, if I can find a partner. The stranger nodded at your response. We should dance then. It's perfect timing, and the song is just about to start. Flattered. Simply continued to look over your face, even with his hand up for you to take. Let's start next. This one. He took his hand in yours. The only acknowledgement he gave was a casual wisp of a smile. You suspected this was as routine for him as the handshake. Together you walked out onto the dance floor. The boy's dance shifted into proper form for formal dancing, confirming your earlier suspicions. He clearly had lessons in this area, which explained his casual attitude about preparing a dance. A lot of the country club parents put their kids in classes like that, whether as a part of a last-minute panic before a big event or weekly extracurricular as soon as the kid can walk. From the way Gazette confidently guided you into position, you guessed that he'd been the one who was enrolled in dance classes for some time. Yet you had come to the country club quite a few times over the years. You struggled to recall seeing him before. First notes of the new song caught you off guard. You began to dance, your unknown partner taking the lead. You were aware that almost all the other dancing couples were men paired with women, which is not the case for you and this boy. Both feeling a little nervous. If the boy you were dancing with shared your concerns, he didn't give any sign of it. His surety fed your own, even if only a little. The two of you moved to the music as you proved your own skill on the dance floor, constantly keeping pace with the music and taking death steps that matched his. The boy's eyes lit up. The partner and you were quickly able to get into a groove together. You wondered why his motives for picking you were. Had the decision been entirely random? If you were curious, or backing your mind right, there was no way you could tell. The style of dance displayed by the music meant that you were spending a solid few minutes in very close proximity to someone you'd never met before. It was peculiar to think that you didn't even know his name, but you were near enough to notice a small birthmark on his neck. You'd just asked for his name, but he'd show no inclination to talk once you'd begun dancing. While you were considering this, the song came to an end. Oh. Your hands released, and he politely took a step back. Thank you for dancing with me. You have nice legs. Legs? He breezed away before he could formulate a response to the unprompted compliment. It wasn't a feature you were accustomed to people commenting on, good or bad. He disappeared into the crowded dance floor just like that. It was a mystery if you'd seen him around the country club again, or if this was the first and last time you had sauntered into your life. Beginning your go of dancing, you went to find Cove. As promised, he had stationed himself as a refreshment. Looked as if he'd enjoyed it just as much on his second visit as he did on his first. At his eyes, his face lit up. Hi, Jules. After you told Cove about your adventures on the dance floor, you thought about what you'd like to do next. I know what my moms are up to, so we'll leave them alone for now. We'll just watch the band for a while. You and Cove had found a spot to the side of a simple stage that had been set up for the soiree. There you were, tucked out of the way of the dance floor, while still enjoying an excellent view of the band. You got in there in time to watch them from the start of the song, their expressions solemn as they teased notes from the strings of their instruments. Cove was entranced, nodding his head along with the music. Catching and watching him, he smiled sheepishly.
Not bad.
It's cool. Yeah, this is great. I can't remember if I wanted to explain it. These were the professionals the skills honed over years. It was natural that you wouldn't be performing at that standard at your age without significant dedication, time commitment, and talent. You still dreamed of reaching that level. It makes me feel like I should practice more. Why? You look at you full on, his attention back on you. You'd made the comment idly, not expecting a response. Felt a little bashful about explaining. It's so good. It would be nice to be able to play like that. Cove nodded, understanding. I think you can do it. And if it matters, I like your playing the way it is already. The band began to play the next song. Cove was enraptured once more. His head tilted curiously as he watched the musicians wield their instruments. During a particularly beautiful solo, he even closed his eyes, focusing on nothing but the music. But after a couple of songs, it was decided that you'd watch the band enough. Let's see what they're up to. You scanned the party goers looking for your parents. They'd been excited for tonight, and you were curious as to whether they were enjoying themselves, whatever it was they'd wound up doing. Wherever they'd gotten to, though, it wasn't visible from where you and Cove were now. Hey, Cove, can I go find my moms? I don't see them.
All right.
Okay, I'll come with you. You led the way, peering around and tried to guess what they might have occupied themselves with. Get your brain out of the gutter. They don't need to go to a soiree to do that. It wasn't too long before you spotted them out on the side of the dance floor, hands entwined as they slow danced together. You came to a halt, causing Cove to bump into you from behind. He opened his mouth as to ask why you'd stop, and closed it as he noticed what you were looking at. Watching them sway to the music, Cove smiled. Your parents seem happy. I think so too. You didn't know how to follow that, so you stayed quiet. Parents only had eyes for each other, but eventually Mom managed to look away from Mom long enough to catch your gaze. Her eyes widened, quickly followed by a bright grin. She drew one hand, her other still holding on to Mom, and used it to wave towards you with wide, frantic motions. She even began to hop on the spot, just in case you might have somehow missed her. Mom had spotted you now too, and lifted her hand to her mouth in order to call out to you both. Hi, Jules. Hi, Cove. Let's give them a thumbs up. You were pleased to see firsthand that your parents were making the most of the night. Cove cautiously lifted a hand and gave the stiffest of waves. Your eyes met his twinkling ones. Back on the dance floor, your moms laughed at your reactions before resuming their dance. That's sweet! Yay! You looked to Cove. You focused over Cove, wondering how he was finding the evening. He sighed. It was so quiet and unobtrusive that you wouldn't have caught it if you hadn't been watching him. His gaze was roaming. With how far away his eyes seemed, whatever he was searching for couldn't be found at this party. He turned his face to you before you could say anything. I want to sit down. You can do that. Cove began to move and you instinctively followed him. Yet instead of taking a seat at one of the many free tables as you expected, Cove ignored them as he purposely strode out of the party area. Where are you going? He called in to register with him as he continued forward out onto the greens of the golf course. You went after him, trying to watch out for the uneven ground underfoot. The clouds were dislodged in games of golf, were perfect for stacking unwary feet even in daylight. Up ahead, Cove didn't appear to have any difficulty traversing the uneven land. He settled down on one of the little hills of the golf course. He joined him, still unsure over what was going on. What's wrong? Cove started as if he'd acted on his thinking. A question that brought him around to reality again.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And it's okay. You can go back to the party. And bud from your spot. From here, this party was just a glowing haze in the distance. I'm happy to be here. I want to rest a little. Cove nodded, recognizing your shared feelings. I let Cove was more at ease. You tried to find out what had caused him to take flight in the first place. Did the party make you uncomfortable? It upset you that Cove had been unhappy attending an event with you, but logically you knew that the issue was likely the event rather than your company. Oh yeah, definitely.
What?
No. He shook his head emphatically. Not anything I did tonight, especially not anything you did either. You nodded, relieved to have your suspicions confirmed. Cove attempted to fill in the gaps of understanding. I don't want to think about going back to this party. I just feel ready to go home. Should I get my mom? I don't want to ruin their night. Cove sat there quietly, gazing out into the shadowy hills and valleys of the golf course. Comfortably warm wind rustled between you, tousling his hair. It was so far away from the hubbub of the party, you could even make out the quiet sounds of crickets chirping. This is kind of like how we first met. Do you remember? Of course I do. You'd liked him from that very first day. So weird. That was a long time ago now. 5 years. That doesn't seem so long to me, but I've lived longer than they have. Sorry. You got back to the day when Cove first arrived in the neighborhood. He had run away from Mr. Holden, taking solace from the hills behind your house. It had been late, too, on a clear night like today. Looking at the sky, you wondered at the stars that roll up and down, and the same ones instead. Technically, no. Cove's face was brighter, but you could still see signs of the strain that had caused him to depart from the soiree. When he first sat down, he had curled up like a pillbug, hunched over, knees pressed to his chest, and arms wrapped around them. He'd unwound as he'd been talking, straightening up, his hands free to gesticulate. I can talk. We don't call them pillbugs, we call them roly-polies. It's the same thing. It was as though the two of you had constructed your own little world away from everything else, and was beginning to perk up. The small smile that had crept on his face was quickly ushered away by a frown. This is a lot like a day. Phil followed up on the statement before he could react. He spoke in a distinctly whispered tone, as though you were the only one in the world who could share these words with. After I said I wanted to come, I wanted to take it back. Not because I really didn't want to do it, but because, I don't know. It seemed like a big deal. It made me feel bad somehow. I started feeling like I couldn't do it, even though I just wanted to do it. I guess it was sort of like having to give a presentation in front of the class, even though it was just me and you doing something, like we always do. He charged on, his voice screaming out. I still could do it because thinking about not being there and you and what you might think if I did take it back made me feel way worse than whatever else I felt.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Jules. I'm sorry I can't just deal with stuff like this and have to make everything so complicated. You didn't have to come. You could have told me. For all this, he had just been feeling bad. Why did he put the focus you through this? Why couldn't he have said something sooner? I wanted to come. I'm not wishing I stayed home or that this party never came up. It didn't sound like that. You wanted to take it back. I moved his head to look at you straight on, eyes meeting yours.
No way.
Yeah, I did, but it's not because I hate parties. It's because I hate you. I never could. It's just me. There's lots of stuff I want to be okay to, and I just don't. I can't explain why. I don't even know why. The problem is that somebody's trying to include me. You're the one who doesn't have to keep doing things.
I'm sorry.
I'm like this. I always am. And then I make you feel bad. Nobody is going to force you to keep trying. If you do, then I'm going to keep trying too. When there's something I want to do and I start to feel bad for some reason, I don't want to give up to that and run away. Especially if it's for you. Oh!
It's not.
Because I'm happy when you think about me. When you want me to be there. When I just do it and you're there, it all feels better in the end. So thanks for inviting me, Jules. It was something really special. Thanks for coming in for telling me all that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 0. 2. You can place a hand on his shoulder. As he squeezed it, a smile flickered back onto Cove's face. Cove stood up without warning. The sudden change broke the quiet reverie that had fallen over you. It was such a Cove thing to do. Got up to stand beside him. What's up? Cove smiled awkwardly, brushing some grass off the side of his pants.
Wanna
dance with me? Your eyes widened involuntarily. You're not expecting that after what happened earlier. But you didn't want to. I know, but it's a dance party, right? And I think he trailed off for a road as if he was trying to figure out the answer himself. Adding slowly, he continued. I think I want to dance with you before it's over. With the only words he had to explain gone, he just held up his hand to you, his expression was soft. Then he reached for his hand and took it in yours. Returned hand in hand, with party reaching the end of a long union, dancing couples had become scarce. One pair among many were hard to notice, but now the space around you but act as a spotlight. Not that there were many left to watch you. You were still at ease, even buoyed by the dissipated crowd. There was a spring in his step as you walked onto the dance floor together. Cove kept hold of the hand you had given him back on the Laurel Hill. He rested the other on your shoulder. Cove hesitated while he waited for a sign, but the song in progress before you stepped on the dance, there was no signal for the right moment to begin. This didn't bother Cove, who shrugged his shoulders with keeping form. Taking you at that as your starting point, you cautiously began to sway, Cove readily following your example. You danced wordlessly, dimly aware of the music guiding you. You were more focused on Cove, whose attention was firmly fastened on you. You didn't look down or away once, not even when your knees knocked against each other and you briefly fumbled your steps. Instead, he smirked, wanted to take the dance in stride in more ways than one. You were utterly at peace, safe and relaxed in his presence. No slip-ups the whole evening, really. Only search underline had nothing to dent the foundation of your friendship. After soon, the song reached its conclusion. You could have continued quite contentedly for some time more. You and Cove let go of each other, though your feet remained rooted to where they had been when the song finished. You heard your name called out, and that brought the dance truly to an end, both stunts by Mom yelling for you and Cove. Beside her, Ma was shaking her head.
Sorry.
It's time to go home, Lonnie. I had to get hold of them somehow. What did you want me to do, sneak up on them? Her chosen method was admittedly better than that. You still cringed at how unaware you'd been when she'd announced her arrival. Cove looked embarrassed to be caught that you were worried about him making another dash away from the party. Explain the scene with your mind. It had been a perfect ending to the evening. You were so glad you got a chance to dance with Cove once more before the night was over. And it definitely was over now. You didn't need to say anything to Cove. The two of you marched wordlessly over to your parents, who were still bickering playfully. Standing shoulder to shoulder, your parents surveyed you and Cove. You wondered if they were checking that they were returning Mr. Holden's son in the same state that he'd left the house.
So?
That was quite a night, huh, gang? Wasn't it, Jeff? Cove managed a self-conscious smile. Yeah. Ma was smiling, too, with an expression so soft it could have cradled a newborn chick. Good. Well, we'd better ready ourselves to get back to Elizabeth. If we're lucky, the house might still be standing.
Pam.
Oh, shush. She swallowed your mom playfully, laughing at the comment. You cast one last look at the party. You saw people exchanging farewells with scratch and yawns. Most of the faces were happy ones, despite the weariness that was starting to creep in. Cove's head was angled away from you. As you watched, wondering what he was looking at, he came around and met your gaze. It was strange. Though it had only been a few hours of your life, you felt a little older as a result of attending the party. It was like a step away from the world of your childhood, where dressing up is reserved almost exclusively as a form of play, but something new that you hadn't yet grasped. Turning away from the final moments of the party, you shelved that thought for another time as your mom eagerly led the way back to the car. As you and Cove tailed after them, you felt childlike once more. And there we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll see moving on for next week. That was fun. So there we go. He's so handsome. Right. Okay. Thank you for joining me and for watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link to the base game and the DLC will be available in the description on YouTube. You can either buy them through itch or Steam. I hope you had fun. Next week we move on to a young adult set. Ooh. I have not decided yet if I want to have a crush on Cove or not. I mean, it almost seems required, but I think the devs have tried to give us the option to not go that route if you want. As sweet as it would be to do the childhood friends for lovers thing, I kind of want to see how it goes when you just stay friends. Because there's stupid. Thank you. It's kind of fun to go against that trust. At least not go with it. Besides, I'm sure there's plenty of characters where people did romance. Because he is a sweet. I will agree with that. But yeah, so take care and see you again next week. Bye. Oh, yes, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, all that jazz. And yeah, take care.